And we get to see a huge development between Elizabeth and Diane, with the whole little romance thing being set up for Taizai and a lot more being set up for the great trip to Camelot. So definitely in this chapter and all that, this felt like this was kind of like happening way like kind of afterwards of that whole crazy shit that we got last chapter. And you know, we had Elizabeth and all that, and I thought this was kind of like a crazy thing that they didn't like have straight in this chapter, which is straight up just admitting, saying, yeah, Elizabeth admits that she's in love with Meliodas, like after talking with all this with Diane. And it's really shown that, you know, Meliodas does care for her. It's been hinted like way too many times in the series and all that to show, you know, they definitely love each other and all that. There's definitely something between them. And this shows why Meliodas scares her by like trying to keep her away from him and all that, saying, you know, there's this big battle that's happening in Camelot pretty soon and all that, and they're going to have to be leaders. So I don't want like pretty much her getting involved in this one, because, you know, yeah, the first time it was like, oh, we're going to protect the kingdom and all that, you know, but this doesn't involve her anymore. She was just pretty much to get in the way. So I hope, like, you know, if not Elizabeth, she's either going to stay behind, or if not, like, I would like her to, like, actually, you know, become more than just, like, a healing factor or something like that. I would like to see if like, she can learn how to fight or something. Maybe, like, throughout this arc or something, she's, like, been training with the rest of the sisters or something. So I think that would be nice and all that, to see if that actually happened and all that. But I just got to say, you know, it kind of looked a little bit sad, you know, that Meliodas is trying to push away, and like even Diane said, you know, there was something going up with Meliodas and all that, so she isn't aware about the whole thing about Meliodas' brother and all these demons coming back and all that. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see that. But best part of this chapter was Diane remembering everything about her and King. And I think that's kind of a little bit clever, because if I remember, when this chapter came out with the little special between like King and Diane, their little flashback of their little past and all that, I believe that came out when like Diane was like knocked the fuck out and all that. So I believe if that happened around about the same time and all that, then that's very fucking clever on like the manga himself. I thought that was, you know, a great time. It's like, oh, there's a reason why this flashback is in this middle of the war and all that, when, you know, Diane just got knocked the fuck out and all that. And that's mainly because of that. So it's like, once like King arrived to protect Diane, it was like, that was just a perfect part for it to happen. And it's like, god damn, it's like, you know, it was a good timing and all that, like, since that was the attack, and I'm like, oh, that was so fucking clever. And it's just like when Diane was crying, saying, you know, yeah, I did love Meliodas and all that, but I always knew that he was like a faraway girl, he would never see me that way. But it's like, when she admits that she loves fucking King, I was like, that's what King's been waiting for. But we know how King was, and that explains why she was all like friendly and, you know, happy, wanting to spend time with King, is because she finally remembered it. And well, they never really had any time to say, oh yeah, I remember everything now. So hopefully, you know, like with Diane, I hope she like actually like says something like soon in the series and all that. I don't want it to be like, you know, sort of like a last chapter thing, but it's like, honestly, Manga has done a great job to like actually set up like the whole demons and stuff like that, and it feels like the series has been escalating just to go against these motherfuckers. So hopefully in the next couple of chapters, I would like to see that. I mean, for like a chapter in general, it was just pretty much just describing about the, you know, the love and stuff like that, and we get to see King at the end like that, like he's still there, like depressed over everything. So it's like, yeah, it's like, it was kind of a slow chapter and all that, not too much. If anything, I want to at least be leaving for Camelot in the next chapter and all that, and going back to like the King and Ban stuff or something like that. Or maybe we just want to see King and Ban for a while, and we should be focusing on Meliodas' group while they take on the stuff in Camelot, and then King and Ban will eventually come back after a while. So overall, it was a good chapter. You know, we had some huge freaking reveals and all that. But for a chapter in general, there kind of just wasn't too much, apart from like Diane and Elizabeth just admitting their love and all that. So overall, I did enjoy this chapter, but I'm going to give this one a 6.5 out of 10 and all that. Like, it was good and all that. I really liked that. I thought it was very clever that he did it, but kind of like, not too much and all that, like a story progression wise and all that. Like, it was just like, oh, we should see development of like the two girls and all that, finally admitting their loves and all that. So, you know, I really did enjoy that. But let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this chapter of Taizai. But that's all from me, so thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.